What's going on, guys? This is Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the indoors of my house. It's super hot outside. We have like 108 degrees like non-stop in this town, so it looks like my videos are going to be here inside on my kitchen table. Alright, so this is a video that's going to be about some of the stuff that I found this week. I found some really cool things this week. Some I've picked and some I've, just found through garage sales and estate sales. And I want to talk today about also this thing called hustler vision, which I think is really key when you're trying to become a good hustler. And if you have good hustler vision, or at least train yourself to have good hustler vision, it'll bring you a lot of money, okay? So let's talk about some of the things that I've actually found this week. And here we go. And for those of you that are actually new and are seeing this for the first time, I hustle and I make money on the side. It's great side money. It's actually the best side money I've ever done. And this is what I do. I go to garage sales, estate sales, I go picking on my own, I do all kinds of stuff. Flea markets, swap meets, anything you can imagine where I can find some cool stuff, junk, and I take it off people's hands and I sell it for more. That is what I do. So it's no different than like taking an old house and, putting new floors or new painting the walls and then flipping it. It's all the same kind of stuff. Except I do it on a little bit different scale, and I like the education I get when I hustle, because I find out about America's history that way. I find out about a lot of stuff, and it's always evolving. It never gets dull or boring. So that's what I do. That's what all these videos are about. And yeah, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I found this week. Of course, if you guys, those of you who know me, you know I love remote control cars. So this right here is a RC10. It's really cool. And anytime you find RC10s, these are vintage remote control cars. If you see a remote control car with this gold underside, it's basically the aluminum that they used back in the day for their real cool race models. These things immediately, if you see that gold bottom, you're talking serious cash. You're talking about $100 or maybe north of 100, somewhere close to 200 for those cars. And you can pick these things up dirt cheap at garage sales and estate sales all day long. So there you go. It's an RC10, an old one. Here's a JRX2. Really cool car. I mean, you can just see it just looks neat and looks awesome and vintage. So pick them both up for about 50 bucks. I mean, I should be able to make 200 bucks on that deal, Nick, no problem. Let's talk about this. For any town, I mean, scooters are getting really popular, right? Gas prices are just escalating out the roof. So people like scooters and people like motorcycles and things like vintage Triumphs and BSAs and Vespa scooters. And so here we go, scooter helmet, kind of like an open face, right? But it has this screen that can like come down. So it's really neat. It's got the Italy colors, made by HCI. I don't really know how much this is going to be, but I know I picked it up for like dirt cheap. So we're talking like 5 bucks. This thing, extra small, is going to sell for a lot of money. I'm thinking like 50, maybe 60 locally. We have a huge like scooter following in this town. And everyone loves old vintage motorcycles in this town. Okay, here, something I picked up today. $1. This right here is a Pinehurst hat. Pinehurst hats, they sell anywhere between 30 and 40 bucks. Got to package them up really well, but they sell 30 or 40 bucks. Of course, I have that antique booth, so it's like no-brainer. I'll just stick it right in there. But yeah, it's a Pinehurst hat. Really cool. And it's, I don't know exactly what era. I'm just going to I will just speculate 30s or 40s. That's just what I think. I don't know. I could be way off. I know it's worth more than $1 though. Okay, I've always trained you guys to look for boots. And boots are selling so well right now in my town that I've actually gone back and redid my rules on boots. As long as they're just good condition and they're like sub 10 bucks, you're gonna make money on them all the time. And this is a prime example of what 5 bucks can buy you at any Salvation Army. 5 bucks, totally awesome boots. And they're not two-tone or anything. They got a little bit of sheen, but they're selling so well right now. They're selling, I mean, every single boot I've put my hand on, I'm selling north of like 35 bucks. So, of course I'm gonna slap down, $5 boots all day long. I've been trying to research this thing, and this is I speculate to be an old Brownie, old Kodak Brownie cameras are cool, but they were mass-produced like up the wazoo. So this one right here is very interesting, and I'm still trying to pinpoint which one it is, and I think it's sub 1919, but it's a really cool Brownie camera, and it's almost like a cardboard box, really neat, and the internals are kind of like this. So basically you just kind of wound the film past here, and then it has a really quick little button for the exposure right there, and that's it. It lets enough light in to just get a picture, and then you get it developed. I mean, super old. I'm going to actually look hard for this thing. the history behind it. I don't speculate it's worth any more than like 40 or 50 bucks, but I bought it for 10 and I just want to learn about it. So that's what you gotta do when you find little things like this. And this looks nothing like the characteristic brownings that you'll see in like antique malls and through all the picks that you go to. You'll find all kinds of weird plastic brownie cameras from Eastman Kodak, but this one's like almost cardboard and really cool and compact. So it's before all of those came out. It could be worth a pretty penny. We'll see. And let's see. Here, I'm a whore for Pearl Snap shirts. We all know that. Here's another one right here. Really good condition. This is a Resistol. This is more of a newer school Pearl Snap shirt. But when you buy them for $2.15, it doesn't really matter because I move these things for north of 15 bucks all day long, you know? So they're cool. Sometimes 20 bucks now. In summertime, I kind of get my price down low to get more volume of Pearl Snaps coming, you know, and coming and going. So $2.15 Pearl Snap shirt, winner all day long. All right, got 3 of these things for $4, and these are just vertical wine rack holders from Crate and Barrel. I just found them, like I just dug them out of the Salvation Army, and they're just cool. They just sit on your, you know, wall like this, and yeah, about 3 of them for $4. I mean, cheapest place online just for one of these things shipped to your door is like $35. So I've made a, you know, I can sell them for huge profit. I think what we're going to do is my girlfriend and I, we're going to hang it maybe over this table. And then we're going to put mason jars coming out this way, and we're going to retrofit 120 lights to come through here, whatever, and we're going to make it like a really cool linear table light. So that's what we think we're going to do with this thing. So, I mean, just because they say it's a wine thing, you know, you can make it into whatever you want to make it into. So if you have the vision, which I'll talk about here soon, you know, you pick these up for like $4, you can move them locally in your town for, you know, $50 to maybe $75 all day long. They're in really good condition. All right, and the last thing, well, second to last thing, AFX Racetrack, really cool. It's old Tomy, T-O-M-Y, which was a huge toy manufacturer back in like the 80s and the early 90s. Tomy was dealt with primarily plastics, but they have a huge following in their racetrack kind of stuff and their little like handheld games kind of stuff. So that's a Tomy Racetrack. The cars are in good condition. I built it all. Of course, I'm a nerd, so like I built it all and I actually raced it all, and it was a lot of fun. I invited my neighbor over. He was like, "This has to be by far the coolest thing you've ever picked." Bought it for $4, probably worth like $100. All right. Oh yeah, the coolest last thing ever. I went to a pick last weekend, and I found this. This is a flak helmet, flak 5 helmet, I believe. Flak helmet level 5 from World War II. Pretty neat. This is the kind of helmet that they use when they're flying around in the bombers and everything. So these little things right here actually go over the, I believe, like the microphone headset things that they had on. And then this right here actually has nothing to do with this. This is just part of a Royal Air Force goggles. They just had it on there, and I offered the guy like, I think $50 for this thing, so he took it. I've seen these sell anywhere, but you know, from $75 to like $300. So these are Royal Air Force right here. These are authentic, except for the straps are not right, but it doesn't really matter. People are like all over looking for these kind of things for their old bicycles and their own motorcycles, and there's a huge like steampunk kind of thing going on right now, so people love to mess with these things and restore them and everything. Anyway, those goggles alone will probably go for like $50-60. Then the helmet, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, I mean, this is an actual bomber guy's helmet, and the goggles I think were just used probably like a plane of some sort under a prop plane, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's talk about Hustler Vision. What exactly is Hustler Vision? Hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so basically what Hustler Vision is the ability to kind of see where the product's going to go. Okay, so you go to like an estate sale or a pick or something, and you got cash in your hands, and yeah, it's valuable cash to you because it takes time to make good cash, and you don't just want to start shelling it out all over the place, but you have to know like what to look for, because just because you don't want it doesn't mean it, you know, someone else doesn't want it. So you have to have that Hustler Vision. For example, like when you see, I had my vintage pick video from way back in the day, well, 3 months ago, and in that video I showed you 4 table legs, right? Just random table legs that were all antique looking, totally awesome. They sold for like $120 in the antique mall, like really quickly. So those are gone. But those legs were just the foundation of something bigger. It could have been a granite table. It could have been they could have used an actual door for the tabletop and then put a piece of glass on top of that. The fact is, those table legs were critical to somebody that had a vision and saw it, right? And of course, I had the vision to pick those things out and go, you know what? I can see this being converted into a table. Of course, they're table legs, but you know, people love to make tabletops all over this place, all over any town. If you got wood crafters and this and that, you know, you got people that have time on their hands, they want to make something for the top of that table. So they're looking for particular legs. They might be looking for antique cloth legs or the legs that I had in that video. Either way, they sold really quickly. So Hustler Vision is not about you, okay? It's about what the product can become. It's about the potential of the product that's in your hand. If you can envision it going somewhere, for example, this World War II thing right here, you know, I could sell it together, that's cool. I could sell it separate, but either way, you know, selling it together, this might find its way on someone's, you know, mantle one day or in their bookcase. So, you know, that's just the vision I have. I like it. It's not super rare yet, but I do like it, and I can see it on the top of someone's speaker or bookshelf or a coffee table or something. You know, I found it on top of someone's like dresser actually. I picked through someone's garage, and then I was like, you got anything cool in the house? And he brought me in, and I was like, that's pretty cool. You know, can I buy it? And I did. So it's about the potential, okay? You must be able to picture the item cleaned. I haven't cleaned this yet, but look behind me right here. We've dug these out of an actual garage sale, and we're going to be putting pictures of our hometown behind these things in black and white. So it's going to look really cool. But these are old window frames from like way back in the day. And these we dug out, I believe, like 3 for like 25 bucks. So it's like a total steal. You can go to an antique booth right now and just sell one of these things for like 100 bucks, like no problem. So it's about, and they're cleaned up. My girlfriend did a pretty good job cleaning these things up. They were in terrible condition. I'm talking like you would never think that, you know, these things look really cool and antique, but they were dirty and just dingy. She did a really good job. So that's what we're going to do with it. But look at the potential, right? It looks cool. Not everyone in their kitchen has cool window panes like that. And we're going to make them even cooler here in a second. You'll see. Not a second, but like a week or two. Anyway, picture the item clean, because when it's clean, it can look like that. Also, picture a spotlight on it. Now this is interesting because I want to show you a video maybe after this one where I actually have something that I bought out of an antique mall in North Carolina. And it has to do with airplane stuff. I won't ruin it right now. The suspense is probably pretty good. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Anyway, we're going to probably put a spotlight on that and put it on top of some like tiny little table, and it's going to be highlighted and it's going to look good. So when you buy something, you know, can you imagine this World War II helmet on a bookcase with books around it and a spotlight like beaming right down on it? Totally awesome stuff, okay? And that's what you got to kind of envision. If it just doesn't belong on a wall, it might be belonging on someone's bookcase or somewhere else in their house. Maybe they're a collector too, but when you put a spotlight, just like you spotlight really nice pieces of art, you can spotlight all kinds of stuff, you know? And you got to picture a spotlight on it cleaned up, you know, will a customer kind of buy this? True. All right. So, cool is in, okay? If you go to an estate sale or a garage sale or a pick, and you're like, man, that is so cool, then as soon as you think that, you probably are not the only person in America thinking it's cool. It's going to be cool to a lot of other people. So cool is in. Cool means money. So just get it for cheap, whatever you're looking at. Odd is in too, okay? What I mean by that is I've actually bought a lot of things that have to do with like funeral stuff. You've seen in my previous videos that I don't like delving into funeral stuff. I don't have any funeral stuff in my house, but, you know, people love funeral stuff. There's an odds and ends kind of thing on eBay right now, just a little section for odds and oddities kind of stuff. Really cool stuff. Oddities being, you know, like broken deer heads or something like that mounted on a wall. Just weird stuff, jackalope kind of stuff. Like those little butterfly things that have pins on them in a corkboard, or things that have, you know, dried up seahorses, just odd, weird things that you could find on somebody's like library or on their coffee table. Odd is totally in, I'm telling you. You get some odd stuff, you can move it, you can. Okay, and of course, coffee table pieces are huge too. So that just means something that's small enough to be put on a coffee table, but cool enough to where your friends are going to be like, wow, that's pretty cool, like what is that, can I touch it? Really neat. Example of this is like maybe the fighter control jet stick that I have from a previous video. If you take a look at that jet stick, it's really awesome. I've thought about actually suspending it, not suspending it, but getting a mahogany base or some sort of burl wood and just like highlighting just that one piece and putting it on top of my coffee table. Can you imagine the amount of people that would be like, that's amazing, like where did that come from? And I know the history of the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. But yes, it's a little odd, right? It doesn't belong on a coffee table, but it's totally cool. So you could demand a lot of money for those things. All right, so the reason why you do this is A, yeah, you're making money, but B, it's really good because it's almost like you're giving back to the history of the USA and the history of the world, because you're giving items a second chance. A lot of these items are just rotting away in people's houses, in their barns, in their sheds. You know, in estate sales, they've brought them from like the tops of attics and stuff. They don't look at this stuff anymore. So give this stuff a second chance and make some money on it. It's cool. And at the same time, if you find something really awesome, put it in your own house. And you can have some cool stuff too. Maybe put a spotlight on it, maybe clean them, but you'll do some cool stuff with those things. So have a good vision. A hustler vision will equal a lot of money for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you in this episode. Alright, so if you do like my videos, comment down there. And like the video, of course, that's really cool. A lot of you guys are liking the videos, that's amazing. And I have the Facebook page, the Bonafide Hustler, up. And I'm slowly putting pictures on there, but there's some stuff on there. And I'm showing pictures of what I find. And I'm also showing pictures of, I actually have comments below the pictures of like how much I bought it for and how much I sold it for. So it's really cool. If you do like my eye, and you do buy into the concept of hustling as a really good side project, then take a look at those pictures, because, I mean, I have thousands of pictures over the years that I've done hustling. I'm just barely getting them on there. So have a look at that stuff. I think you guys will like it. Like my Facebook page, because we're going to be running some contests based upon that Facebook page. So you definitely want to be part of that. And if you do like these videos, please comment below. And if you have some cool stories about some cool oddities that you found, or maybe you have some more information about this Brownie camera that you want to tell me about, there it is. You know, all you little camera aficionado guys out there, if you can tell me what kind of Brownie this is, that would help me out a lot. Alright, so peace out guys. Got another video coming up really soon. I'm going to show you that cool airplane piece that I want to tell you about that has to do with Hustler Vision. Alright, talk to you later. See ya.